Go.
Hi everyone, this is Desmond Palmer, Dorothy's nephew in New York. My first recollection of her was when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and my grandmother, her mother, took me to Kingston to see her off. She was going to London to live. I also remember something funny. She, I had either a cough or a stuffy nose, and she had rubbed some Vicks on me and told me to go to my bed. Mark you, this was early afternoon, like about 6 o'clock. Who, which child wants to go to bed at 6 o'clock? So I was a very curious child. So I went to the bed, and then all of a sudden there was a commotion outside. Now her door opened like close directly to the street. So she and my grandmother were there looking at what was happening, and I jumped out of bed and run to the door to see what was going on. And she said, "Get back to your bed." Of course, I was very mad. I went back to my bed, but I couldn't even show that I was upset. Aunt Dart was she was a very easygoing person. She loved life. She loved to laugh. And if you couldn't take a joke, you couldn't hang with her. She was also the fun aunt. I remember some time back in the 80s, I had a problem, a medical issue, and I didn't want to talk to my mother about it, so I spoke to her because, of course, she didn't say a word to my mother about it. So I went to London, and she arranged with her doctor to have a procedure done. Uh, well, I didn't cover all the bases, and my mother got wind of it and was very mad because she was afraid of knives, she was afraid of operations, all of that kind of stuff. But anyway, she was the sort of aunt you could talk to, you could confide, and you could talk to about anything. And her sense of humor was just awesome. I will never forget her. She has lived a full life. She has scored a big batting average in the game of life. 94 years old is nothing to sneeze at. At this point, I just want to say, rest in peace, Aunt Dorothy. We will always love you, and we will remember you. I will take solace in the fact that you lived a full life. Thank you.
I am Maureen Simpson, Aunt Dorothy's niece from Jamaica. I have fond memories of my Aunt Dorothy. Very family oriented, always reaching out to her family members, caring, kind, and considerate person. Aunt Dorothy gives me regular calls, and I do likewise. I always remember her many trips to Jamaica back in the days. I look forward to them. She's always contacting me. I go and visit her. We sit, we talk, we eat, and we laugh together. Even the death of my father, her brother, she was there for me. She was in Jamaica. We went to the funeral home. That is how caring she is. She's always there. Never leave you out. May her soul rest in peace. Aunt Dorothy.
Family, friends, and well wishers. My name is Andrea Murdoch, granddaughter of the sweet soul that lies here, and I bring tribute on behalf of my siblings, namely Orville and Zonna Murdoch. It would take me all day to describe this great, the qualities of this great matriarch of our family. She was the epitome of strength, kindness, resilience, wisdom, and humor. Her persistence broke barriers for our family and paved the way for our generation and beyond, which hopefully we can emulate. Her strength, which stands out mostly to us, because an example, even when she was mourning the loss of her only child, my dad, her son, she had a reassuring hug for us as kids saying, "We'll be fine." She cracked little jokes in between, a little smile, that smile. And that, to me, is true strength. Her humor, that hearty laugh, when even in pain we would call and two sentences into the conversation and we would be reassured that grandma is fine. I would say my grandma is not going anywhere anytime soon. We will miss our calls, especially on Sundays, her jokes, our holiday gifts, which she would call our candy money or our little pocket money. To sum it up, if I may paraphrase and borrow lines from 2 Timothy 4 7 and 8, she has fought a good fight. She has finished her course. She has kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for her a crown of righteousness. In closing, I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to two persons here today, namely my cousin Patrick and my grandma, dear friend Miss Ivy, who has been there with her in respect as family and friend right through and through, right up to the last breath. We can't say how much grateful we are to you too. Thank you, thank you. Fly high, Grandma, and may light perpetual shine on you. We'll meet you in the morning.
Good day. It is both with great honor and deep regret that I stand here on behalf of the great-grandchildren of Dorothy Griffiths, otherwise called Miss Dorothy by some, Miss Griffiths by some, but to us, she was Grandma Great. She was a fun, loving, a tender-hearted woman that loved to ensure that we were okay. On behalf of us, the great-grandchildren of Grandma Great, Andre, myself, Adria, DeAndre, TJ, Kishan, and Amira, I'd like to give this tribute in the form of a song, and I hope it resonates in the hearts of each and everyone who hears it. I also hope that it gives each and every one of us comfort in this time of bereavement. Be not dismayed, whatever betide, God will take care of you. Beneath his wings of love abide, God will take care of you. God will take care of you through every day, all the way. He will take care of you. God will take care of you. Grandma, rest in peace, and may light perpetual shine upon you.
I met my grandmother for the first time in 2007, I believe, a few days before my father's funeral. It had to be one of the worst days of her life. I remember that obviously she was quite sad, though very reserved. And I think the thing that struck me most was this quiet dignity that she had. I remember that really clearly. I met her again in 2018 in person in the UK. I visited her, briefly, and we got to spend an afternoon together. And we had a lovely afternoon together. And I just remember, she'd lived a long time, and when you live that long, you live long enough to bury a lot of people that you love. and we spent the afternoon and we chatted, and she was, showing me family members and, funeral programs. And it struck me, just the massive pile of funeral programs that she had amassed over the years. So many people who she had loved, but also so many lives that touched her and lives that I'm sure she touched. I saw something recently and about death and loss, and the person said that, essentially you don't know how long God has loaned a person to you, so you better love them while you have them. For lack, I'm not quoting it exactly, but I think that's my takeaway from all of this. And I know that my grandmother was loved, and I'm very grateful for all the people, especially who were near her, who looked after her and offered her friendship and family and kinship. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.